Hello, my name is Anna. Welcome to another English lesson. Welcome to Lexicology Lecture 12. Today, we are going to talk about phraseology. Let's get started. We are mainly going to discuss verb groups, with transferred meanings. Verb groups known as idioms are characterized by double sense. The current meanings of constituent words build up a certain picture, but the actual meaning of the whole unit has little or nothing to do with that picture, in itself creating an entirely new image. A dark horse is not a horse, but a person about who no one knows anything definite, and so one is not sure what can be expected from them. The imagery of a bull in a china shop lies very much on the surface. The idiom describes a clumsy person. A white elephant is not even a person, but a valuable object that involves great expense or trouble for its owner, out of all proportion to its usefulness or value. And that is also difficult to dispose of. The green-eyed monster is jealousy. In to bark up the wrong tree, the current meanings of the constituents create a vivid and amusing picture of a dog sitting under a tree and barking at it, while the cat or the squirrel has long since escaped. But the actual meaning of the idiom is to follow a false scent, to look for somebody or something in a wrong place, to expect from somebody what they are unlikely to do. In standard spoken and written English, idiom can be considered an established and essential element. that can enrich language if it is used with care. And using idioms with care is actually a very important warning because speech overloaded with idioms loses its freshness and originality. Idioms are ready-made speech units and their continual repetition sometimes wears them out. They lose their colors and become trite cliches. Such idioms can hardly be said to enrich the language. There are some other terms denoting the same linguistic phenomenon. Set expressions, set phrases, phrases, fixed word groups, collocations. Free word groups. Freedom is relative. Its relationships are regulated by requirements of logic and common sense and by the grammar and combinability rules. One can speak of a black-eyed girl, but not of a black-eyed table. To say the child was glad is quite correct. But a glad child is wrong because in modern English, glad is attributively used only with a very limited number of nouns, and names of persons are not among them. There are two major criteria for distinguishing between zoological units and free word groups. Semantic, and structural. For example, consider the uh, following statement. I'm told they are inviting more American professors to this university. Isn't it rather carrying coals to Newcastle? And consider also the following utterance. This cargo ship is carrying coal to Liverpool. And so, to carry coals to Newcastle means to take something to a place where it is already plentiful and not needed. The first thing that captures the eye is the semantic difference of the two word groups, consistent of the same essential constituents. The second sentence in the second sentence, the free word group is carrying coal is used in the direct sense. The word coal standing for real hard black coal and carry for the plain process of taking something from one place to another. The first context quite obviously has nothing to do either with coal or with transporting it, and the meaning of the whole word group is something entirely new and far removed from the current meanings of the constituents. The structural criterion is expressed in a number of restrictions. First of all, restriction in substitution. As a rule, no word can be substituted for any meaningful component of an idiom without destroying its sense. To carry coals to Manchester makes as little sense as a bee in somebody's hat or cap. So there is a phrase, a bee in somebody's bonnet. And so this idiom means an idea that's constantly repeated in someone's thoughts. So it's someone's fascination, someone's passion. So this is an idiom. But if we say a bee in somebody's hat or a bee in somebody's cap, it would either really mean a bee in a hat or a cap. And as an idiom, it would not make sense because it doesn't have such idiomatic meaning. The second restriction type is introducing any additional components into the structure of an idiom In a free web group, such changes can be made without affecting the general meaning of the utterance. The big ship is carrying a large cargo of coal to the port of Liverpool. In the idiom to carry coals to Newcastle, no additional components can be introduced. Nor can one speak about the big white elephant or about somebody having his heart in his brown boots. The third structural restriction type is grammatical invariability. A typical mistake English learners make is to use the plural form of fault in the idiom to find fault with somebody. Or in from head to foot. Proverbs differ from idioms. The first distinctive feature is structural dissimilarity. Idioms are ready-made blocks that fit into the structure of a sentence, performing a certain syntactical function as words do. Proverbs are sentences and cannot be used in the same way. If one compares proverbs and idioms, proverbs could be best compared with minute fables. Proverbs sum up the collective experience of the community. They give advice and criticize. Idioms stand for a single concept. Their function is nominative. Proverbs' function is communicative. Proverbs are sometimes regarded as idioms subdivision. One of the main idiom criteria is stability. This is quite a lot of the material for your creative work, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. I can't wait to see the winners. And I'll see you in the next lesson.